Hello guys, I am Dr. Deepak Garg and today we will discuss posteromedial approach to proximal tibia. These are our various references: Gray's Anatomy, Hopfenfield Surgical Exposures in Orthopedics, Campbell Operative Orthopedics, and the Atlas of Human Anatomy. We will first start with the indications. So, open reduction, internal fixation in cases of proximal tibia fracture, especially if there is a posteromedial or the medial fragment, upper tibial osteotomy, abscess drainage from the proximal tibia, or for taking a biopsy from the proximal tibia. Position of the patient is supine on the plane table with the C-arm lying usually in the opposite side, and we put a sandbag on the contralateral, below the contralateral hip, so as to roll the patient about 20 degrees and achieve external rotation in the opposite limb, and so that the posteromedial corner of the tibia will come forward. The surgical landmarks are, this is the joint line, we need to identify the joint line, and below the joint line we need to palpate the proximal end of the tibia, and then we need to palpate the posteromedial border of the tibia. These are the surgical landmarks. The incision is very simple, approximately 6 cm long incision overlying the posteromedial border of the tibia. We palpate the posteromedial border and the incision is just overlying the posteromedial border of the tibia. Length of the incision can be increased depending upon the procedure. There is no true internervous plane in the approach. The plane is between the bone and the gastroc muscle, and we work in the epiperiosteal plane. We talk about the superficial dissection. We have already taken the skin incision. Then we take the subcutaneous incision in line with the skin incision, and we identify the fascia. The saphenous vein and saphenous nerve are overlying the fascia and just lie anterior to our approach. We need to identify these structures and preserve these structures, and then we cut the fascia in line with the skin incision to expose the pes anserinus muscle and identify the pes anserinus muscle. This is the sartorius, the anterior most in the pes anserinus, then semitendinosus and the gracialis muscle. After we identify the pes anserinus, then we have two approach options. One is a pes reflecting approach and other is a direct approach. In the pes reflecting approach, we reflect the sartorius muscle posteriorly, then we retract the whole of the pes anserinus muscle posteriorly, and then we release pes anserinus muscles tendons as required. And in the direct approach, we incise the pes anserinus insertion at the tibia. So this is very easy, but closure is difficult here. So after the pes anserinus reflection or the incision, we take the deep approach. In the deep, we detach the gastroc, medial head of the gastroc at the posteromedial tibia and expose the bone. This is our approach, and we work in the plane between pes anserinus and gastroc in epiperiosteal and submuscular region. So this is our approach, guys. So dangers in the approach are the saphenous vein and saphenous nerve. We have already discussed it in the superficial dissection that they will come above the fascia, just anterior to the approach. We need to identify them and preserve them. we can enlarge the approach both proximal and the distal extension. The proximally approach will give the access to the popliteal vessels, and the distal extension of the approach will give access to the superficial and deep compartment of the leg, so it can be used for the fasciotomy. This is our approach, guys. Keep learning. Thank you, guys.